The year 2008 was a year of chaos. The global economy was in free fall, and banks were collapsing like dominoes. People were losing their jobs, their homes, and their savings. The world felt like it was on the brink of disaster. But in a quiet corner of Memphis, Tennessee, the home of Elvis Presley, known as Graceland, was also feeling the tremors of the financial earthquake. Elvis, the king of rock and roll, had been dead for over 3 decades, but his legacy lived on. Graceland, his former mansion, had become a mecca for fans from around the globe. It was a place where the magic of the king could still be felt, where visitors could step into the world of the man who had changed the face of music and culture forever. But even the king couldn't escape the economic downturn. Visitor numbers at Graceland began to drop. Fans, despite their unwavering love for Elvis, had to tighten their belts. They couldn't afford the trip to Memphis, and the once bustling mansion fell silent. The profits that had once flowed steadily into the coffers of Elvis Presley Enterprises, EP, began to dry up. The company, which managed Graceland and the Elvis brand, was facing its darkest hour. CKX, the parent company of EP, was forced to announce that the ambitious plans to redevelop Graceland might have to be shelved or even abandoned. The grand visions of turning Graceland into a world-class entertainment complex seemed to be slipping away. In 2009, Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's only daughter, sold 100,000 of her shares in CKX over a 2-month period. It was a sign that even the Presley family was feeling the pinch. Despite the setbacks, the company tried to stay afloat. They began exploring new ways to keep the Elvis brand alive. One of their biggest bets was a new show in Las Vegas, a collaboration with the world-renowned Cirque du Soleil. Viva Elvis was a spectacular tribute to the king, featuring dance, acrobatics, and live music. When it opened at the area resort and casino, Priscilla Presley, Elvis's ex-wife, was there to celebrate. The show received good reviews, but it was an expensive venture, and the high ticket prices kept many fans away. In May 2010, Robert Sillerman, the chairman and CEO of CKX, resigned. He had brought high hopes to the company, but was now stepping down, though he remained the company's biggest shareholder. Less than 2 years later, CKX, along with EP, was sold to Apollo Global Management, a New York private equity firm. The deal was worth just over $500 million, and it required the approval of both Sillerman and Lisa Marie Presley. Apollo, known for its savvy business strategies, saw potential in the Elvis brand. They had no immediate plans to change the management team, but they knew they had to do something to boost visitor numbers at Graceland. The mansion had become a symbol of the past, and Apollo wanted to make it a destination for the future. They explored new marketing strategies, new attractions, and even new ways to extend the brand's reach beyond the walls of Graceland. In 2013, Graceland saw the opening of 2 new exhibitions. Elvis Hawaii, concerts, movies, and more, celebrated the king's connection to the islands, featuring rare footage and iconic jumpsuits. Elvis, Live from Vegas, showcased his legendary performances in Las Vegas, with a collection of costumes and memorabilia that had never been seen before. Fans were thrilled, but the financial challenges remained. The fate of the Elvis brand was now in the hands of corporate giants, and many fans worried about what the future held. Would the king's legacy be preserved, or would it be reduced to a mere marketing tool? The story of Graceland and the Elvis brand was far from over, and the next chapter was about to begin. The rights to run Graceland as a tourist spot were bought by Authentic Brands Group ABG in partnership with Joel Weinshanker. Joel is the owner of the National Entertainment Collectibles Association, NECA, a company that makes collectibles related to movies, celebrities, and sports. However, NECA didn't take part in the Graceland deal, even though they sell Elvis-themed collectibles like a bobblehead of Elvis. Priscilla Presley, Elvis's ex-wife, was excited about the deal. She said, "This is an exciting day for Elvis and his fans. We look forward to working with the ABG team to promote Elvis's legacy and expand the Graceland experience worldwide." Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's daughter, also expressed her approval, noting that the property would remain in the family, even though the operations were changing hands. Joel Weinshanker emphasized the importance of the deal, saying, "We are honored to take ownership of Graceland operations. We will enhance the Graceland experience and make sure it remains a world-class attraction for all visitors." One of the first big changes was the construction of a 450-room Elvis-themed hotel to replace the Heartbreak Hotel. This new hotel, costing over $70 million, was a huge project for Memphis. It would have a grand staircase inspired by Graceland, a 500-seat theater, and VIP suites designed by Priscilla Presley. David Wade, a longtime Elvis fan and travel entrepreneur, was optimistic about these changes. He wrote in his newsletter, "With this level of planning, Elvis fans can be sure that Elvis's legacy is in safe hands. Our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy Graceland for years to come." Under the new management, Elvis projects started popping up in other places too. In 2014, there were rumors of a big-budget film about Elvis's life, possibly produced by Warner Brothers. They had already remastered and re-released the 1970 film, Elvis, That's the Way It Is. In Las Vegas, Elvis Presley Enterprises EP partnered with Westgate Resorts to create a new exhibition with hundreds of Elvis artifacts. The exhibit covered 28,000 square feet and included a film of Elvis's greatest performances. The city also got a new Elvis-themed showroom and a wedding venue operated by EP. Priscilla Presley even acted as matron of honor at the first wedding there. Across the Atlantic, an Elvis exhibition opened in London at the O2 Arena. It featured items like Elvis's birth certificate, his pink Cadillac, and his gold telephone. The exhibit was so popular that it was extended for several months. This success showed that Elvis was still a big draw in Europe. However, some fans were worried about the new management. They wondered if the new owners would respect Elvis's image, and if they might use it in ways Elvis wouldn't have approved. Lisa Marie Presley had some influence, but she couldn't control everything the investors did. In 2014, Graceland held its first auction of Elvis memorabilia. Items included a gold and diamond lion's head pendant that Elvis wore when he met President Nixon, which sold for $82,500. A 1977 Cadillac that Elvis owned sold for $81,250. Another surprising item was a bullet-riddled paper target from Elvis's personal shooting range, which fetched $27,500. For Elvis's 80th birthday in 2015, Graceland held another auction. One of the most valuable items was the only surviving copy of Elvis's first recording, a 78 RPM acetate disc from 1953. It sold for $300,000, much more than expected. The disc featured Elvis singing My Happiness, and That's When Your Heartaches Begin. In August 2014, a rumor spread that Elvis's private jets, Lisa Marie and Hound Dog II, might be moved from Graceland. This caused a lot of concern among fans, who started a petition to keep the planes. The planes were an important part of the Elvis experience, and many fans felt strongly about them staying. Despite these concerns, fans also dreamed about what new investments could bring. One exciting possibility was the use of technology to bring Elvis back to life virtually. In 2007, Elvis appeared on American Idol, singing with Celine Dion. The producers used old footage and digital technology to create a convincing performance. There was also a traveling Elvis show that combined live performers with video projections of Elvis. The most impressive example was the 2012 performance of the late rapper Tupac Shakur at the Coachella Festival. Using a blend of digital technology and stage illusions, Tupac appeared to perform live. This technology could be used to create similar performances featuring Elvis. However, bringing Elvis back digitally raises many legal and ethical questions. Who owns the rights to use Elvis's image in this way? What if the technology becomes more advanced and can create spontaneous performances? These questions will be important as the Elvis brand continues to evolve. The future of the Elvis brand depends on the size and spending power of his fan base. Butch Paulston, who runs a business providing Elvis costumes, believes there are many new fans coming in. He started his business 3 years after Elvis's death and has seen the fan base grow over time. Whether this growth will continue and support new, expensive projects remains to be seen. The world of Elvis fandom is a vibrant, living community that spans generations and continents. Imagine a place where the love for a man who passed away decades ago continues to grow, bringing together people from all walks of life. This is the heart of Elvis fandom, and it's a place where the magic of his music and the charm of his personality still light up the lives of young and old alike. Elvis Presley's home, Graceland, stands as a testament to his enduring legacy. Located in Memphis, Tennessee, Graceland attracts visitors from all over the world. The grounds are a year-round pilgrimage site, with a steady stream of fans coming to pay their respects, take photos, or just soak in the atmosphere. The wall outside the mansion, which stretches for 140 meters, is covered in signatures and messages from fans who have visited over the years. By 2012, Graceland had welcomed 18 million visitors, making it one of the most visited homes in the United States, second only to the White House. The visitor numbers at Graceland can vary, influenced by factors like the economy and the time of year. For example, during the summer months, especially around Elvis Week in mid-August, the number of visitors can surge to over 4,000 per day. Elvis Week marks the anniversary of his death, and it's a special time when fans from around the world gather to celebrate his life and music. The highlight of the week is the candlelit procession, where thousands of fans walk through the mansion gardens to the meditation garden, where Elvis is buried. The atmosphere is solemn and moving, with fans lighting candles and sharing their memories and emotions. But Graceland isn't just about the mansion. The surrounding area has been developed to include museums, gift shops, and other attractions. These improvements have been made to keep up with the expectations of modern visitors, who might be looking for more than just a tour of the house. Despite these changes, the core of Graceland remains unchanged, preserving the essence of Elvis's home and life. Elvis's fan base is incredibly diverse. Fans come from all ages, genders, and backgrounds. Professor Patsy Hamontry from the University of Tennessee conducted a study that revealed the broad spectrum of Elvis fans. From young children who discover him through movies or documentaries to older fans who have loved him for decades, the Elvis community is a rich tapestry of individuals. Men and women, from all socioeconomic levels, are drawn to Elvis for different reasons. Some are captivated by his music, others by his style, and still others by his charisma and personality. Elvis's appeal isn't limited to any particular demographic. His music has a universal quality that transcends age and gender. Women often describe his voice as intimate and seductive, while men see him as a role model and a friend. Many men have even adopted the Elvis look, not just because they admire him, but because it gives them a sense of connection to his legacy. This desire to be like Elvis isn't just about nostalgia. It's about the timeless appeal of his persona. Elvis's influence extends beyond his music and into the lives of some of the world's most prominent figures. In 2014, Prince William and his brother Prince Harry, along with their cousins Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, visited Graceland. Despite being born after Elvis's death, they were drawn to the king's home, paying their respects and experiencing the place that meant so much to their fans. Other notable figures, like President Bill Clinton, Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi of Japan, and Sir Paul McCartney, have also shown their admiration for Elvis. These high-profile visits highlight the global impact of Elvis's legacy and the respect he commands even decades after his passing. The annual Elvis Week in August is a highlight of the fan calendar. It's a time when the community comes together to celebrate and remember Elvis. The candlelit procession is a powerful and emotional event, where fans walk in a silent, respectful line to the meditation garden. The atmosphere is filled with a sense of unity and shared love for Elvis. For many fans, this annual pilgrimage is a way to connect with others who share their passion, and to feel a part of something greater than themselves. Elvis's influence is not just confined to Graceland or Elvis Week. His music continues to reach new audiences, and his image is recognized around the world. From Moscow to Soweto, Rio de Janeiro to Bangkok, say Elvis and people know exactly who you're talking about. This global recognition is a testament to his enduring impact and the universal appeal of his music and legacy. Elvis fandom is more than just a hobby. It's a way of life. It's a community that spans generations and continents, united by a shared love for a man who left an indelible mark on the world. Whether you're a young child discovering Elvis for the first time or a lifelong fan who has followed him for decades, The world of Elvis fandom is a place where the magic of his music and the warmth of his personality continue to inspire and connect people from all walks of life. Elvis Presley's influence hasn't waned, even 4 decades after his death. This is a question that has puzzled many, including British journalist Harry Mount. Mount, a member of the British establishment, admits to being obsessed with Elvis from a young age. He was barely 6 when Elvis died, but remembers the impact it had, seeing a school friend's mother in tears. Despite the stigma of being an Elvis fan in his youth, Mount's passion never faded. He visited Graceland as a young man, pretending it wasn't a big deal, but years later, he admitted it deeply moved him. Elvis fans are a diverse group, from those who have made Graceland pilgrimages to those who simply enjoy his music. Some fans, like Paul MacLeod, dedicated their lives to Elvis. MacLeod's home, Graceland 2, in Holly Springs, Mississippi, was a shrine to the king, filled with memorabilia. He and his son, also named Elvis, welcomed visitors around the clock. Tragically, MacLeod died in 2014 after defending his home from an intruder, but his dedication inspired fans to hold a vigil in his honor. For many fans, Elvis is more than just a musician. He's a part of their identity. They grew up with his music, saw him in concert, and have cherished memorabilia for decades. These fans are now older, with families of their own, but their love for Elvis remains strong. To them, Elvis is as essential as the air they breathe. As George Klein, Elvis's friend, once said, "If you're an Elvis fan, no explanation is necessary. If you're not an Elvis fan, no explanation is possible." The Elvis phenomenon isn't fading, though. New fans are discovering him all the time, especially among the post-Elvis generation. Many young fans, like toddler Ella Me, are introduced to Elvis by their families. Others find him on their own, drawn to his music and charisma. This is evident in popular culture, where Elvis remains a recognizable figure. On the game show Family Feud, when asked about the king, 81 out of 100 people thought of Elvis, not Jesus or Burger King. Elvis fans have adapted to modern technology, using social media to connect and share their love for the king. Fan clubs, both official and unofficial, continue to thrive, with some focusing on specific aspects of Elvis's life or music. The official Elvis Presley Fan Club of Great Britain is one example, while others have more playful names like the All Shook Up and Vegas Fan Club. These clubs help promote Elvis events and offer members exclusive deals. Elvis festivals are another way fans come together. From the Elvis Fantasy Fest in Portage, Indiana, to the Porthcawl Elvis Week in Wales, these events attract thousands of fans. In Porthcawl, over 30,000 visitors attend the 4-day celebration, which includes concerts, screenings, and parades. The town of Bad Nauheim in Germany, where Elvis served in the military, also hosts an annual gathering with thousands of fans participating. Elvis's music continues to reach new audiences through various media. In 2013, a UK TV show on ITV1 aired a countdown of the top 20 Elvis songs, attracting 4.6 million viewers. The Elvis Facebook page has been liked by over 9 million people, with individual posts garnering tens of thousands of likes. Elvis Presley's legacy is more than just music. It's a cultural phenomenon that continues to evolve and inspire new generations. Whether through family tradition, personal discovery, or the power of his music, Elvis remains a significant figure in the lives of many. Elvis may not have as many likes as Michael Jackson or Bob Marley on Facebook, but that doesn't mean he's not a big deal. Facebook likes can be tricky. They depend on how long a page has been around, and how much its followers use social media. For example, Mozart is super popular all over the world, but his Facebook page has fewer than 3 million likes. His fans might not be the type to spend a lot of time on social media. Elvis Presley Enterprises, the company that manages Elvis's brand, says he's the king of digital. Elvis has a strong online presence with lots of app downloads, millions of visitors to his website, and active accounts on Twitter, YouTube, and other social media platforms. There are also many online radio stations that play only Elvis's music, like Elvis Matters Radio, which broadcasts 24/7 from Amsterdam. The official Elvis Radio, which broadcasts from Graceland, offers themed shows, including a gospel program that promises to keep your weekend positive and righteous. Elvis's music is also popular in live theater. In 2015, a musical called Love Me Tender toured the UK, playing in 15 cities. The show combines Elvis's songs with a 1950s American town story, featuring a guitar-playing, hip-swiveling stranger on a motorcycle. This is just one of several Elvis-themed musicals that have been staged over the years, dating back to 1977 when Elvis ran in London's West End. Other shows like Jailhouse Rock and $1 Million Quartet have also brought Elvis's music to the stage. When Elvis died, his fans were devastated. People remember exactly where they were and how they felt when they heard the news. Some fans felt like they lost a part of themselves. They cried, couldn't eat, and even considered extreme actions. But most fans chose to live through Elvis, adopting his style, wearing his jewelry, and listening to his music all day and night. They organized their social lives around Elvis events and buy Elvis merchandise. Even though Elvis isn't performing anymore, his business is still going strong. In 2013, Forbes ranked Elvis second among the top-earning dead celebrities, with $55 million in earnings. His estate continues to make money from his music, Graceland, and other ventures. However, the official earnings don't include the income from tribute artists, independent Elvis traders, and memorabilia sales. If Elvis had been managed as shrewdly as Michael Jackson, his earnings might have been even higher. It's hard to say exactly how many records Elvis sold. Some claims, like the 1 billion figure, have been exaggerated over the years. But what matters is that Elvis's music is still selling. In 2005, he topped the UK singles chart 3 times, and in 2015, he had his 12th #1 album. His music is re-released, remixed, and repackaged because it continues to attract buyers. Even new vinyl versions of his classic recordings are popular. Elvis's music is also part of what's called the long-tail sales. This means that even though his music isn't always at the top of the charts, it keeps selling over time. For example, in 2013, reissues of his albums like Elvis Uncovered and Viva Las Vegas continued to sell thousands of copies, adding to their total sales over the years. Elvis's legacy is constantly being promoted. In 2013, the 40th anniversary of his recording sessions at Stax Studios was celebrated with a special release and events. His 1973 concert, Aloha Hawaii, was also commemorated. These events help keep Elvis relevant and attract new fans. Elvis Presley Enterprises has been proactive in introducing Elvis to younger generations. They've included his music in movies like Lilo and Stitch, and created apps and online content for young people. They target a specific age group from 12 to 18 to ensure Elvis's music reaches new ears. This strategy has been successful, and many young fans have discovered Elvis through these efforts. In the future, the business might face challenges, but as long as Elvis continues to be marketed to new generations, his legacy will live on. Whether through online radio, live theater, or new technology, Elvis will always have a place in the hearts of his fans. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, continues to captivate new generations of fans, even decades after his death. One 16-year-old named Taylor recalls, "I became an Elvis fan at 9 years old when CBS showed a mini-series about him. I was instantly hooked." Another fan, 13-year-old Ruhai, discovered Elvis through a friend who played Viva Las Vegas. Ruhai says, "I was shocked by his beautiful voice and fell in love with him right away. What makes Elvis's music so timeless? His unique voice and charisma have a way of transcending age and time." Mary Hancock Hines, who saw Elvis in his prime, notes that the Elvis merchandise at Graceland is now designed for younger fans. Even the official caretakers of the Elvis image, Elvis Presley Enterprises EP, have recognized this trend. For years, they were very cautious about allowing Elvis's music to be remixed, but in 2002, they made an exception for the Dutch producer Junkie the 40th, who remixed A Little Less Conversation for a Nike ad. This remix became a global hit, topping charts in 9 countries. The original song was from a 1968 Elvis film, Live a Little, Love a Little, where Elvis is seen at a poolside party. The remix, however, featured a completely different visual style, with monochrome and surreal scenes that appealed to a modern audience. The remix's success showed that Elvis's voice could still resonate with today's listeners when paired with contemporary beats. While Elvis's movies may not have aged well, his music remains as powerful as ever. Jack Soden, a Graceland executive, says, "Thousands of people who were not even born when Elvis died have discovered him and are just as devoted as the original fans. There's a regenerative power in Elvis's music that we can't create, only Elvis can." In 2008, Italian DJ Agostino Carollo, known as Spankox, remixed Baby Let's Play House, a 1954 Elvis recording. This remix became a moderate hit, and Spankox went on to produce several albums of remixed Elvis tracks, including re-versions, remixes, Revolution, Reloaded, and Reborn. These albums used modern technology to enhance Elvis's original vocals and create a new sound that appealed to younger listeners. Elvis's music has also been used in posthumous duets. In 2014, Barbra Streisand and recorded Love Me Tender with Elvis's vocals, despite a past conflict between the two. Elvis had previously performed duets with Celine Dion and his daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, using advanced audio and video technology. These duets were emotional moments for fans, especially when Lisa Marie surprised the audience at Elvis Week in 1997 with a duet of Don't Cry Daddy. While some purists disapprove of remixes and duets, many fans love them. One fan wrote, "I love these remixes because they sound like Elvis recorded them today. They still sound like Elvis and they sound great." EP, now part of Authentic Brands Group, has embraced the commercial potential of Elvis's music. They have licensed his image and music to various advertisers, including Nike, BMW, Coca-Cola, and even the Irish National Lottery. These campaigns have used Elvis's music to promote products ranging from cars to coffee, often with a modern twist that appeals to younger audiences. For example, in 2011, Coca-Cola used the remixed A Little Less Conversation in a Japanese TV campaign to attract younger male customers. The ads featured young men having fun and attractive women, all set to the Elvis soundtrack. Elvis's music has also been used in political campaigns. In both the US and UK, candidates have borrowed A Little Less Conversation to convey a message of action over talk. The use of Elvis's music in advertising and remixes has not only kept his legacy alive, but has also introduced him to new fans. While some may prefer the original versions, the modern interpretations ensure that Elvis's music continues to resonate with people of all ages. The world of Elvis impersonators is a fascinating and sometimes confusing place. When Elvis Presley died in 1977, there were already 170 people performing as Elvis tribute artists. By the year 2000, that number had skyrocketed to 85,000. Mathematicians had some fun with these numbers, predicting that by 2043, there would be over 9 billion Elvises on the planet. That's more Elvises than there are people. But what makes someone an Elvis impersonator? Is it just about looking like Elvis, or does it involve more? Some people think that any middle-aged man with sideburns, a medallion, and an open-necked shirt counts. Others say it should be limited to those who perform in Elvis tribute concerts, while still others include anyone who dons a spangled jumpsuit and does a karaoke set. What about those who sound like Elvis but don't look like him, or the lookalikes who mime to Elvis tracks? And what about female Elvises, like Anita or Elvis Hersilvis, and the young boys dressed as Elvis outside Graceland? The Naked Scientists, a radio show, once estimated there were 85,000 Elvises around the world in 2000. But how do you define an Elvis impersonator? Rob Langford, who knows the Elvis scene in Birmingham, Alabama well, says that in his city there are about 20 Elvises who are paid to perform. That means one man in 5,000 in Birmingham is an Elvis impersonator. There are over 100 listed Elvis impersonators in or near Birmingham, mostly white, in a city with a high African American population. So the proportion of Elvises among the city's white males is likely much higher than 1 in 5,000. The Yahoo Music site claims there are 84,000 Elvis tribute artists in the USA. That's a lot, about 1 in every 1,400 adult white males. But this figure comes from a claim made by Robert Sillerman, who bought Elvis Presley Enterprises in 2004. He said that in 2002, Over 84,000 people listed Elvis impersonator as their main job on their tax returns. However, no one has found the original source for this claim, so it might be a bit of a folktale. Still, it suggests that there are many thousands of Elvises performing around the world. Butch Paulston, who makes stage costumes for Elvis performers, has a different take. He says that if you took 100 Elvis performers, 50% would probably say they do it as a hobby because they love Elvis. 35% do it full-time, and the rest do a bit of both. They might have full-time jobs, but take time off to perform at theaters or nursing homes to keep Elvis's memory alive. The Reverend Dorian Baxter, a Canadian priest who performs as Elvis Presley, believes that interest in Elvis has grown exponentially. He sees a new generation of fans, too young to have known Elvis, coming to his shows. This growth is like the expanding universe, connected to the Big Bang Theory. Elvis's manager, Colonel Parker, and later the Elvis estate, tried to control the growing number of Elvis impersonators. In 1978, they tried to get a special license for anyone performing more than 3 Elvis songs in a show. This didn't work, but the estate kept trying. In 1987, they went after Johnny Spence, one of the first and most popular Elvis tribute artists. Spence was set to perform at a 12,500-seater stadium to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Elvis's death. The estate demanded he stop, but Spence refused, saying, "They can't take Elvis out of me." The dispute was settled out of court, but it highlighted the legal battle over who could use Elvis's image and name. The Big L Show, a traveling stage show featuring Larry Seth, a popular Elvis impersonator, was another target. The show used a fanfare and had a live TCB band, just like Elvis. The estate sued, but the judge ruled that the show was not unfair competition. The judge said that an impersonation is an exercise of freedom of speech, and that impersonators don't need a license to perform. The estate then targeted Legends in Concert, a Las Vegas show. The show's attorney, Mark Trader, noted that the estate ignored most Elvis impersonators and focused on the most successful ones, suggesting they were more interested in money than protecting Elvis's image. Eventually, the estate changed its approach. Instead of trying to stop the tribute acts, they started to encourage and organize them. They saw the impersonators as a way to promote Elvis and sell more merchandise. The first official Elvis tribute act contest in Memphis was in 1987, and it has grown into a major event. The Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Contest, held every August, attracts the best Elvis impersonators from around the world. The winner gets a cash prize, a contract to perform with Legends in Concert, and a unique Elvis belt. The world of Elvis impersonators is a mix of hobbyists, full-time performers, and passionate fans. Whether they look, sound, or just feel like Elvis, they all play a part in keeping his legacy alive. The world of Elvis impersonators is a fascinating mix of passion, competition, and a deep love for the king. For many, becoming Elvis is more than just a job. It's a calling. Dean Z, a 29-year-old tribute artist, has dedicated his life to Elvis. He first fell in love with the king when he was just 3 years old, watching a documentary on TV. Dean's mom made him a jumpsuit, and he performed Jailhouse Rock at his sister's school talent show. The crowd went wild, and Dean was hooked. He's been performing professionally for over a decade, traveling the world and bringing Elvis's music to new audiences. Similarly, Dorian Baxter, who discovered Elvis at age 5, has been trying to sing like the king for over 50 years. He remembers the exact moment he heard Heartbreak Hotel on the radio and felt a connection that changed his life forever. For these tribute artists, Elvis is not just a musician but a personal friend. The Elvis tribute scene is vast, with contests and shows everywhere from music festivals to casinos. EP, the company that manages Elvis's legacy, promotes these events as a fast-growing entertainment opportunity. They offer organizers a complete package, including media attention and tools to make the most of the event. The Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Contest is a highlight, with judges evaluating contestants based on their singing, style, and ability to recreate Elvis's charisma. However, behind the glitz and glamour, the world of Elvis impersonators is fiercely competitive. Rob Langford, an Army veteran from Alabama, competed in Memphis in 2007, but eventually grew tired of the cutthroat atmosphere. He describes the dressing room before a contest as similar to a group of teenage girls at a beauty pageant, all vying for attention and glory. For some, the tribute acts are a way to keep Elvis's memory alive. Paulston, a fan, believes that these acts help promote Elvis to younger generations. However, there are older fans who have no interest in the impersonators, seeing them as a separate subculture. Some fans, like Robert Alanis, a collector and dealer of Presley memorabilia, are even hostile to the tribute acts, calling them Mickey Mouse Elvises and saying they damage Elvis's legacy. Despite the controversy, many tribute artists use their performances to do good. Rob Langford, who has sacrificed his own identity to be Elvis, says that the joy he brings to people is worth it. David Moore, who performed at the Heartbreak Hotel in Memphis, sees his role as a ministry, bringing hope and healing to those in need. He shares a powerful story of performing for a quadriplegic man who felt alive again when he entered the room. For some, like Geraint Benny, who performs as Elvis Presley, the role is more about humor. He has even faced death threats from extreme fans, but for most tribute artists, the goal is to honor Elvis and share his music. Clayton Banks Smith, another tribute artist, says that to truly embody Elvis, you must eat, sleep, feel, and act like the king. The transformation that occurs when an impersonator steps on stage is almost magical. Patty Carroll, a photographer who documented many Elvises, describes how these performers change when they put on their costumes and the music starts. They feel a different kind of energy, and the audience can sense it too. John Strasbaugh, a journalist, witnessed this transformation in a small restaurant in Queens, New York. As Greg Peters, a tribute artist, began his performance, the room was transformed. The king's spirit filled the place, and the audience was electrified. For a few moments, it felt like Elvis was really there, and the magic was palpable. In the end, whether you love or hate the Elvis tribute acts, there's no denying their impact. They keep Elvis's memory alive, and bring joy to countless people around the world. For those who feel Elvis inside them, the king's spirit lives on, ready to touch the hearts of new generations.